Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Frazier Field for Babe Ruth State Tournament action. This is the 14-year-old group. There's 13, 14s, and 15s.
17 is entering 22.
You give you that change? 17 to 22. He's playing short. Number 3 kid was playing short. The number 2 kid was catching. So the first start at the bottom. 17 is playing short. Welcome to Frazier Field for the Babe Ruth 14-year-old state tournament. This game, we pick it up. It's the bottom of the first inning. Lynn against Peabody. Lynn had a 1-2-3 defensive inning. Elijah Moria drew a walk, stole second, went to third when the ball got thrown away. Kalen Huddle drew a walk, stole second. After a strikeout, Mark Wallace got a big base hit, knocking in 2 runs. He stole second. Heward Beato got hit by a pitch. A wild pitch moved him to second and third, and that's where we're going to pick up the action with Lynn leading it 2-0 here in the bottom of the first with runners at second and third. They started this game last night, and the rain, the monsoon rains came. It poured. So Braden Owenesian, I'm guessing his brother was the left fielder for the Classical Rams. So Jimmy DiCarlo will get set to pitch as Owenesian steps in. And the count was already 3-2 when the rains came last night, so he draws another walk. Third walk to go along with the hit batsman in the inning. Gavin Collins. Collins is the first baseman as he swings and misses for strike 3. So both outs have been strikeouts. And it brings up Riley Driscoll, the second baseman. Tap, nice play by the pitcher. If that goes by, that could be a base hit. DiCarlo helps himself. That was slowly hit. By the time it got to the second baseman, Driscoll might have been at first base. So he gives up another walk, but he gets 2 outs in a row. Lynn sends 8 to the plate. They scored 2 with the 1 base hit, the 2 RBI hit by Mark Walsh, the pitcher. He helped himself. And at the end of 1, it's Lynn 2, Peabody nothing. We'll start the second inning. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 for Peabody, a name that most people will recognize in Peabody athletics, both male and female. Mark Betancourt, the first baseman, hitting from the left side, will bat against Mark Walsh on the mound for the Lynn 14-year-olds. High for a ball. Peabody bench is up and roaring. Wide for a ball. 2-0 the count. In for a strike. 2-1 the count. Hit foul to the backstop. The count evens at 2. Ooh, that's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. That was over just a little bit high. Intestinal fortitude to take that pitch. Hit foul back and out of play. After that rain last night where it came down in buckets, there was some lightning and thunder, and they come back tonight. It's a gorgeous night. Strike 3 called. He started to his first base. He can't believe it was called a strike. It was perfect down the middle. So Mark Walsh gets his first strikeout. Mike Sinelli, the extra hitter. And I might add, this is a little bit different than high school baseball. They do bat 10. It's not a case of you bat 9 and somebody hits for somebody. The extra hitter, this is an extra hitter. So they bat 10 rather than 9. Swing and a miss. We would get to see these players will get to know each other, Lynn and Peabody, and get to play against each other. Hit to second base. Riley Driscoll makes the play over to Collins for the out. But it used to be the case when English and Glasgow were playing in the Northeastern Conference, but now that they're in the Greater Boston League. And it's funny because Peabody used to be in the Greater Boston League before they moved over to the Northeastern Conference. Jackson Taylor, the center fielder, swings and misses at the first pitch. Way inside, almost hit him. Now they're saying it did hit him. He stayed at the plate. The umpire had to tell him, I think that hit you, so go to first base. Mason Palladino, the second baseman, will be the hitter. Down the way for a ball. So Taylor becomes the first base runner. Walsh should retire 5 in a row to start the game. And now he steps off and moves the runner back to first base. Swing and a miss. Chased the high fastball and swung right through it. Easily back at first is Taylor. Chopped to third. Played on the big hop. Third baseman Beato makes it over to Collins. So the hit batsman doesn't hurt. They leave the runner at first. We're moving to the bottom of the second inning with Lynn holding on to that 2-0 lead. 9-10-1 for Lynn as we start the bottom of the second inning. Jared Burke, Jack Spates, headed back to the top of the order. Elijah Moria, the extra hitter. Coaches getting together on the pitch count. I forgot they were doing that in high school because I didn't see anybody checking with anybody until I read in the paper that there was a discrepancy at one of the games. Two coaches couldn't get together on how many pitches the pitcher had thrown. The umpire doesn't keep it. It's kept by the coach on either bench, both benches actually. So Jared Burke, the left fielder, will lead it off. Lynn's coming off a year where one of their teams had a tremendously successful year, went to the national championship. I believe it was the 15's. Hit in the air, it's going to be out of play. Up over everything. High for a ball. Curveball broke outside. Nice pitch by DeCarlo, but it just missed outside. Hit foul to the backstop. It's a doubleheader tonight. The 13-year-olds will play the next game. We're keeping the 13 years up later than the 14-year-olds. That one bounced just in front of the catcher. Went to the dugout. Count is even at 2-2. Missing inside. Count goes full. A little action going on at Manning Field. I think somebody's throwing a football around, getting a workout. So, as they did in the first inning, Lynn will lead with a walk in the second inning. And I'll bring up Jack Spates. Some of these young men, I know their names, like Hohenesian and Spates. Family members played for the Glasgow Rams this year, so I mentioned those names. The bunt out in front, they're going to have to hurry. They bobble it, and they throw it away. So it's going to be second and third. I'm going to give them a base hit. The error puts runners at second and third with nobody out. For Elijah Morio, who scored the first run, he walked leading off the first inning, came around to score on the 2 RBI single by Mark Walsh. And now Lynn's looking to add to it. Swing and a miss. Good curveball breaking down on the way. Chased it again down the way. Two good pitches by DeCarlo. Moria chased both of them. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout for DeCarlo. Kalen Huddle drew a walk and scored the second run. Missing down and away for a ball. Nice stop. Good job by the catcher, Grant. Had to go way to his right and pick that one with runners at third base. Keeps the runner at third base. Hit by the first base bag for a base hit. That's going to bring in two. Second two RBI hit. This one by Huddle. So that walk, the bunt single in the error, cost Peabody 2 more runs. And it's now 4-0. So the top two in the order scored the 2 in the first inning. The bottom 2 in the order scored the 2 in the second inning. It's 4-0 with a runner at first. Huddle just went with the pitch, punched it right down the first base line inside the first base bag. 2 runs score easily. He's at first base with nobody out. The runner takes off. He got a huge jump. No chance to throw him out. He was halfway to second when the ball was getting to home plate. Hit up to the screen. Oh, 2 the count. So Nico Santanastasso, who was a strikeout victim back in the first inning. Up and away for a ball. He's the shortstop for this 14-year-old Lynn team. He has to duck under that pitch. Count evens at 2. And he hits him. Second hit batsman. He had him in a hole. So now it's first and second with 1 out and 2 runs in. For Mark Walsh, the pitcher, he helped himself, getting a base hit, knocking in 2 runs in the first inning before the rains came. He's been gifted with 2 more here. He's got a chance to help himself again with a runner at second base. Line in the left center field for a base hit. They send the runner home. Walsh gets his second hit, his third RBI. Jumped on the first pitch. Huddle scores his second run. Hit foul. Heward Beato, the third baseman, got hit by a pitch. As it gets a little bit brighter here at Frazier Field. And it gets a lot brighter here with the sun popping out. Off the catcher's glove. Everybody's going to move up. So now it's second and third with one out. They're very lucky they're able to play the game here tonight. The rains came down so hard. In past years, you couldn't play here today. Popped up. Second baseman making the call. Backing up. Can't make the play. It's over his head. It's actually a base hit. He never touched it. He kept calling for it. Backing up. They had the infield in. He was making the call to make the play, and he kept backing up, and finally it over his head, dropped behind him in front of the right fielder. I'm not sure where the double play comes from. I know they called a runner out at first base. It wasn't a case of anybody tagging up. Nobody had to tag up. I have no idea why they called the runner out, and they're calling 2 outs because there was only 1 out. Long discussion between the umpires and the Lynn coaches. I have no idea how they could possibly get 2 outs on this play. They had second and third. There's no infield fly with runners at second and third. There's no infield fly on second and third, so I don't know how they could get any outs. Peabody was going back to first base. Now they're talking to the Peabody coach. I've been doing this for a very long time. I don't know how they could possibly get 1 out, never mind 2. There's no infield fly with second and third. So they talked to the Lynn coach for a while. Now they're talking to the Peabody coach. The runner at second stayed at second. The runner at third scored. The runner at first is at first base. It should be first and second with 1 out. Peabody's milling around like they're going to hit. Lynn is staying in the dugout like they're going to hit. A bizarre moment here at Frazier Field. We'll take a quick break and figure out how this works when we come back. We're back and we finally figured it out. The pop-up, for some reason, it's not, with second and third, it's not an infield fly. For some reason, Peabody thought it was an infield fly, and they tagged the runner at second base, thinking that he came from first base and didn't tag up. He was at second base to begin with. So now they bring it back and say, no infield fly. It's a base hit by Beato, and we're back to where we were. First and second, one out, with 4 runs in. And Braden Oanesian drew a walk his first trip. So they finally straightened it out. Lynn came up. They want to. I'm trying to figure out how they could get. I couldn't figure out how they could get 1 out. Never mind 2. Hit, foul back. But for some reason, they thought it was an infield fly, which it wasn't with second and third. And then they thought the runner at second didn't tag up, which he didn't have to because he was already at second base. He didn't move. He stayed at second base. The only one that moved, good curveball for a strike. The only one that moved was the runner from third scoring and the hitter going to first base on the hit. Hit up the middle. Nice play by the shortstop. So they get 4 to make it 6-0, and we've ended 2 innings. So we finally figured that whole mess out. Pietro, we thought, got the RBI hit. He got the RBI, but they called it, even though it's second and third, the umpires called an infield fly. And I don't know how they stay with it because you can't stay with that. It can't be an infield fly. But they stayed with that call, and Beato was out on the infield fly, gave the RBI with Santos Nastasso scoring. And then the ground out to third was the third out. So we finally figured all that out. What a mess that was. Hayton Blah. His name is actually spelled like the Blaze family, Blais, but he pronounces it Blah, the coach told me. Curveball hangs high. Mark Walsh starting his 3rd inning. Going to get warm up in the Peabody. They're not going to get him. He beat it for a base hit. So Blah gets the first hit for Peabody. He's the second baseman. They had a hit batsman. Perfect bunt. Down the third baseline. Will English, the third baseman, will be the hitter. In for a strike. Hit foul back to the screen. So somehow the umpires stay with their call, which is virtually impossible. You can't call an infield fly with second and third, but they stayed with it. That's why I was confused. Hit, that one makes it up in the seats behind home plate. I was wondering how that ground ball could be the third out. But now we understand it's not the right call, but they stayed with it. Foul tip held on to by the catcher. Nice job by Huddle, the catcher. So the first out is a strikeout. Second strikeout for Walsh. Wide for a ball. This is Ryan Johnson, the left fielder with the top of the order on deck. We mentioned again, it's not an extra hitter hitting for somebody. They bat 10. Punch to third. They only have one play. He beat it. Just a little love tap down the third base line. By the time they got to it, he beat it for a base hit. So Peabody has 2 on with 1 out on 2 hits that didn't go more than 10 or 15 feet down the third base line. Maybe 20 feet combined. Pietro had to make the long throw. He made it. Collins made the nice stretch, but Johnson was able to beat it. So you do have action going at Manning Field. I don't know if it's flag football or men's soccer. Bright colored jerseys, they stand out. So a bunt single, a strikeout, a little tap at the third, puts 2 on with 1 out. Nice stop by Huddle on the pitch down and away. They got 2 in the first. They got 4 more in that bizarre second inning. Down and away for a ball. Hit the shot. They make the play at second base. Santanastasso with the nice play for the second out. Blau will go over to third. DeCarlo, the pitcher, will be at first base. So it's first and third, 2 outs. Tommy Grant flied out to center field back in the first inning. Hit to first base. Huddle will make the play himself. Nice job. He had to go way to his right. The second baseman was going to cover second with the runner going from first. And Grant makes the play. So the 2 hits get left at first and third. We'll move into the bottom of the third with Lynn holding on to that 6-0 lead. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 for the Lynn 14-year-olds as we start at the bottom of the third inning.
27 is entering for 23. 27 to 23.
Liam Smith will be the new third baseman. He'll replace Will English. And Jimmy DeCarlo will start his third inning of work. 6-0 Lynn. 2 in the first, 4 in the second. And that bizarre second inning. Gavin Collins leading off, struck out swinging his first time up in the first inning. Made that nice play at first base, going where it was right to pick that. As we mentioned, the runner at first was off and running. The second baseman was going to cover second, so there was nobody on the right side except the first baseman. He did a nice job going to get that ground ball and being the runner to the bag for the third out with a run scoring. A would-be run scoring. So Gavin Collins, Riley Driscoll, Jared Burke will be the first three hitters that DeCarlo will face here in the third inning. "14-year-old Babe Ruth with tournament time for Babe Ruth. Jeff Earp did a tremendous job with this program. He was involved up until this year. Rich Avery, who was the caretaker for the field and Fraser Field, does a great job here, working with all the schools, scheduling and making the fields available and taking care of it. He took over as president, and he's carrying on very nicely for Jeff Earp. In the first strike. Wide for a ball. 1-1 the count. So we have three divisions, 13, 14, 15, playing in this state tournament pool. Trying to make their way to the quarterfinals. Actually trying to make their way to the finals and hopefully, as Lynn did last year, go to the Nationals. Hit to third base. Long throw across the diamond. Nice play by the third baseman, Liam Smith, who just came in the game. As soon as he comes in, they hit it to him. That's a long throw. Riley Driscoll bounced out, hit a little tapper that the pitcher picked off, and was able to throw him out at first base. If it got by the pitcher, it would have been a base hit. Tries to bunt. Pitch was up and away, and he bunted it foul. Just missed. Good breaking ball. Broke outside. That was a couple of nice little curveballs. High and away for a ball. Slice down the first base line. It's going to slice foul. So Riley Driscoll at the plate. His brother Jaden got a chance to, midway through the season, to come in and play second base. He did a great job for St. Mary's. Got them deep. They made it to the Final Four in the state tournament. With a very young team, I might add. Popped up. That's going to be bouncing up and over the Peabody dugout. Tucked under that one. Count goes full, 3-2 on the Lynn second baseman. Swing and a miss. Three in a row retired by DeCarlo. He ended the first two in the third. And Jared Burke walked and scored in that big 4-run second inning. Hit high in the air, long run. Can they get there? Driscoll almost got there. The pitcher, you got to worry about running into his catcher, Grant. Driscoll at the last moment just stuck out the glove. It just went off a piece of the glove. So Burke gets a life with that pop-up. Great effort by Betancourt, the first baseman, Huddle, the catcher, DeCarlo, the pitcher. They're all chasing it right in front of the Peabody dugout. Wasn't from lack of effort they didn't make the play. Hit to third. A nice pick at first base by Betancourt. Another nice play. Liam Smith just comes in the game as a replacement. He gets two plays. So the first 1-2-3 inning for Peabody is in the books, as they knock Lynn down in the third. We've completed 3 full. Lynn leading Peabody in his 14-year-old state tournament game, 6-0 going into the fourth. Matt Nazzaro, the shortstop, will lead it off. Takes it wide for a ball. He flied to left field. He's back in the first inning. Walsh will start his fourth inning. He's got a 6-run cushion. High and tight for a ball. In for a strike, taking all the way as you would expect. Count goes 3-1. He'll still be fussy here. Ducks under that pitch. First walk given up by Walsh. He's walked about hit a batter, gave up a bunt single and a tap down the third baseline. The only hits he's given up. Mark Betancourt, the first baseman, was called on a strike. He couldn't believe it. He started to go to first base and he just stood there for 30 or 40 seconds, not believing he was a strikeout victim. In for a strike. Out at second base. They tagged him on the head. Nice tag by the shortstop, Santana Stasio. Nice throw by Huddle. Santana Stasio reached across and tipped him on the head just before he got to the bag. Nice throw, nice tag. Good defense by Lynn on that play. Swing and a miss. I mentioned Betancourt, there's like 4 or 5 of them, the girls that play for the softball team, and all they do is hit home runs and pitch no-hitters. And of course, the Mark Betancourt is the coach of the baseball team and the football team. And the Betancourts were active in the Aganis games that just finished up, playing basketball and soccer. Pitching wide for a ball. softball. Swing and a miss. Chase that high pitch. Third strikeout. He's got one in each of the second, third, and fourth. And he didn't get one in the first. He had a 1, 2, 3 in the first, but didn't get a strikeout. He's got one in each of the next three. Mike Sinelli, the extra hitter, grounded out second to first. And we mentioned again, extra hitter means extra hitter. They bat 10, not 9. Swing and a miss. Wide for a ball. Down again. 2-1 to count. Good pitch on the corner. We got our first deuce as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Popped up in foul territory. Right in the first base coach's box. Gavin Collins threw his hat off and then went and got the ball for the pop-up. So it's not a 1, 2, 3 inning because he gave up the walk, but he only faces 3 hitters in the inning as the catcher Huddle and the shortstop Santon Estasso combined on a throw out at second base on the attempted steal.
26 is now pitching. Thank you. Thank you.
Mark Betancourt is going to be the new pitcher. And I believe DeCarlo is, I'm not sure where DeCarlo is going. Looks like Mike Sinelli, who's the extra hitter, is going to be the first baseman. And DeCarlo, the pitcher, is going to go to shortstop. So he went 3 innings, gave up 4 hits, 6 runs. And he's on the hook. Unless Peabody can get a big comeback coming back and wipe out this 6-0 lead. It'll be 10, 1, and 2. As we mentioned, 10 hitters, not 9. So it'll be 10, 1, and 2 for Lynn as we start the bottom of the 4th inning, holding on to that 6-0 lead. 2 in the first, 4 in the second. They went out 1, 2, 3 in the third.
Sammy. How many for Mark?
So Betancourt will be the new pitcher. So Lynn will get to look at a lefty now. Jack Spades beat out a bunt when it got overthrown at first. He wound up at second, and he scored when Kalen Huddle got a base hit and knocked in 2 runs. Jack Spades leading off. He's the first hitter that Mark Betancourt will face. I don't know if it's Mark Betancourt Jr. We mentioned Mark Betancourt is the coach of baseball and football teams at Peabody High. In for a strike, squared the bunt and took the pitch. Squeezing in at first and third. hit in the air. Backing up and falling down and making the play is Mason Palladino right in front of the right fielder. Little acrobatic catch by the second baseman. Slipping, falling down, rolling over, but he came up with the ball. Would have been a much easier play for Blau, the right fielder, but second baseman Palladino took it away. Elijah Moria walked and scored, struck out swinging, facing Betancourt for the first time. And that one goes through the wickets to the backstop for ball one. Hit high in the air to left field, backing up over near the line. Nice job by the left fielder, Ryan Johnson. He was off the line, had to come over and get it. So 2 away. Little late swing. That ball was almost by him. Safe at first base. He drew him off the bag. He came back down in the bag, but they beat us for the error on the throw. Sinelli thought he made the play. He was up in the air. He came down in the bag, but the runner got there first. So another discussion with Peabody and the umpires. Last time they got a huge break when they called an infield fly, which was not an infield fly. Nick Santanastasso made that nice tag on the would-be stolen base. He was called on a strike. He got hit by a pitch and scored a run. Easy pickings going to second base. Betancourt went to the pause, and just as he started off and running was huddled. He was almost to second base before the ball reached home plate. Betancourt steps up, trying to keep huddled close at second base. That one goes to the backstop. Huddle thought about it, took a wide turn to third, but goes back. So Lynn looking for a little two-out lightning. He had 2 quick outs, an error, a stolen base, a wild pitch puts Huddle at third base with 2 outs. Still pitching from the stretch, Betancourt. Solid shot at the left field for a base hit. They get their 2-out lightning. Solid shot by Santanastasso. Yeah, Lynn now enjoys a 7-0 lead as that manufacture a run unearned, but they'll take it. The error, stolen base, wild pitch, and the big 2-out hit by Santanastasso. That's the adult soccer league going on over at Manning Field, and those really, they don't have to turn the lights on with those shirts that they're wearing over there. popped up. And that's going to be an automatic out. They didn't call anything. Now the pitch umpire makes the call. The runner ran right in to the second baseman. They didn't make a call originally, but they ran right into the second baseman. So the inning comes to an end, but they got the unearned run, and it added to the lead. We played 4 in this 14-year-old state tournament game. Lynn now leading Peabody 7-0. We'll start the 5th inning. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 for Peabody. Jackson Taylor, the center fielder, got hit by a pitch. Hits it right back to the pitcher. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 5th. Mason Palladino, he's okay. He's the one that got run over by the runner going to second base, got knocked flat. He's the hitter. High and tight for a ball. A little chin music on that pitch. In for a strike. 1-1. Walsh starting his 5th inning. He's been almost untouchable. He gave up 2 hits. One was a bunt single down the third base line, went about 6 feet. The other one was a little tap that went about 10 feet down the third base line. Line shot, slices foul. He hit a batter at the second. He walked a batter at the 4th, but the walker thrown out trying to steal on a nice play. Huddle, the catcher, combining with Santa Anastasio, the shortstop. So Peabody has been very quiet offensively. Missing inside for a ball. Warm-up action in the Peabody bullpen. Down and away for a ball. So he's got to come in with a pitch. He'll put him on. Strike 3 called. He threw the bat. He was walking down to first base. You can't believe it. The pitch was right down the middle. It was a perfect pitch. I can't believe he threw the bat away. He started to walk to first base, and it was a perfect pitch. It wasn't even borderline. With 2 strikes, you got to protect the plate anyway. But that was right down the middle of the plate. And he's still acting up in the dugout. He can't believe it was a strikeout. Quickly 2-0 to Hayton Blau, the right fielder. He got the bunt single to get the first hit off Walsh. In for a strike. Swing and a miss. And it's ball 4. Second walk given up. Liam Smith will be up for the first time. He came in replacing Will English. He made a couple of nice plays at third base. hits it to deep shot. They're not going to have a play. That's a base hit. Santa Anastasio could not have thrown him out. He kept it in the infield. And we'll get runners at first and second for Ryan Johnson, the left fielder. And we have a commune on the mound. I've gone as far as saying Sam Owenesian is helped out by his assistant, Mr. Driscoll. So is Coach Owenesian out to talk to everybody. Second time they've had first and second. Hit up the middle for a base hit. They hold the runner at third. Collins just saved that throw from going way out of play over his head. So Johnson gets a base hit. Peabody look for a little two-out lightning as they get the bases loaded after 2 outs. So walk and 2 hits. Swing and a miss. Jimmy DiCarlo was the starting pitcher. He grounded to second and bounced into a fielder's choice. Shortstop to second base covering. Hit solidly to short. They make the force just barely at second base. Second time he's bounced into a 6-4. So Peabody comes close. They load the bases with their 2 hits. Bottom of the 5th, it'll be 5, 6, and 7 for Lynn. Betancourt will start his second inning of work. Decent little crowd here for this game. Friends, relatives, family, parishioners coming out to watch these young men play. As we mentioned, this is the 14-year-olds. They have 13 and 15s. And 15 is trying to make it 2 in a row going to the Nationals. Then got 2 in the first, 4 in the second. They got shut out 1, 2, 3 in the third. They added an unearned run in the fourth, and that's where we are, 7-0 as we start the bottom of the 5th inning. Five, 6, and 7. Eward Beato, the third baseman. Braden Hohenesian, the right fielder. Gavin Collins, the first baseman, will be the 3 hitters. As we mentioned, Mark Betancourt, and it is Mark Betancourt Jr. He is the son of the baseball football coach. In for a strike. Beato got hit by a pitch, and his was the play. They popped it up. We had him down for a base hit and an RBI. And after a long conversation, they said it was an infield fly. Center fielder had it and dropped it. Beato will reach on the error. The right fielder was right there to make the play. Long run for the center fielder Taylor, and he had it and then just flat out dropped it. So the error gives Lynn a base runner starting the 6th inning. Braden Owenesian, the right fielder, walked and grounded a short. He threw over the first, easily back is Beato. They throw it over, but the runner was on his way. He's in the second base. He steals second. He was off and running with the pitch. They threw it to first base, and Beato winds up stealing second. They threw it because he was way off the bag, and he was far enough off the bag he could get to second base before the throw got there. Beato diving back, even though he didn't know that there was no throw. He thought the throw was coming. He dove head first back to second base. Hit in the air to left center field. Long run for the center fielder, and they almost collide with each other. The runner had to wait to see if the ball would be caught. They're having trouble communicating in the outfield. That ball drops in. It'll wind up being a double for Owenesian.
1 for 14. 1 for 14.
Jendal Diaz will hit for Collins, the first baseman. So a couple of would-be outs. Instead, it's second and third. That one just dropped in between left field, center field. They almost collided. Luckily, nobody got hurt, but the ball dropped. The other one was dropped in the outfield. So Jendal Diaz will be the pinch hitter, hitting for Gavin Collins. So Betancourt should have 2 outs and nobody on. Instead of second and third and nobody out. Swing and a miss. Nice stop by the catcher, Grant. And we got a little break for equipment repair on the Tommy Grant's catcher's mask. I guess I should call it a helmet. It used to be just a mask behind home plate. Now it becomes like almost like a full mask going on, covering the entire head. In for a strike. 1-2 the count. Peabody with their infield drawn in. Solid shot over the left fielder's head. That's hit a long way. They hold the runner at third because everybody waited to see if the ball would be caught. Diaz gets a double and an RBI. He hit that a ton. Trey Riley will hit for Driscoll. And it's still second and third with nobody out. In for a strike. Diaz got all of that one. He hit that a solid shot over the left fielder's head. That's going to drop for a base hit. Little love tap over the shortstop's head. So the pinch hitters come through. Boo DeCia will hit for Burke as we're going to walk out to the mound. Bedgood, from the ridiculous to sublime, Diaz hit a shot over the left fielder's head. And then Riley, just a little love tap just over the reach of the shortstop for a base hit. Blau, the right fielder, will be the new pitcher. So Blau is the new pitcher. DeCia is the hitter. If he brings the runner from third home, the game is over. First baseman, third baseman, away in, shortstop, second baseman. You got to cut the runner off. The ball goes to the backstop. He squared the bunt. The catcher bounced out for a pitch out to try and get the runner coming home, and the wild pitch wins the game.
That's the ball game. Final score, Lynn 10-0.
So they get three in the inning with three base hits, two big doubles by Ohoanesian and Diaz. And Lynn shuts out Peabody. The mercy rule kicks in as it's now 10-0. It ends at the end of 5 innings. And what they did on that play, DeCia was squaring like he was going to try and squeeze the run home. They called for the pitch out. The catcher bounced out, and the pitch came inside him and went to the backstop for a wild pitch, and the run scored. So Lynn got 2 in the first. 2 walks. Stolen base, wild pitch, a big 2 RBI single by Mark Walsh, and that was really all they needed. They got 4 in the second inning. Huddle got a 2 RBI single. Walsh got another RBI with a single. Beato got an RBI on that infield fly pop-up that wasn't an infield fly. It was 6-0. They added a run in the fourth. Huddle reached on an error, stole second, went to third in the wild pitch, scored on a big 2-out hit by Nick D'Anastaso. And then here in the fifth, Beato reached on an error. Ohoanesian drilled a double. Diaz pinch hitting, drilled a double. Pinch hitting, Riley got a base hit, Trey Riley. And then the wild pitch scored the third run, making it 10-0. Mercy rule kicked in, and the Lynn 14's win the game with a shutout. Mercy rule win 10-0 over Peabody. For Lynn, Elijah Moria walked and scored a run. Palin Hull did a nice job behind the plate. He was on base 3 times. He hit the trifecta. Walked and scored. Singled in 2 and scored. Reached on an error and scored. Nick Santastasso had that nice defensive play on the tag on the would-be steal. He got hit by a pitch and scored, singled in a run. Mark Walsh had 2 base hits, knocked in 3, along with pitching the shutout. He gave up only 4 base hits, walked 2, one of them thrown out trying to steal, hit a batter. So they only had 7 base runners, Peabody, and they were spread out pretty well. Pieto got hit by a pitch. He had that base hit that they took away, called it an infield fly, which it wasn't. Getting an RBI, then he reached on an error and scored one of the runs that iced it in the 5th inning. Braden Hoanesian got a double and scored one of the 3 in the 7th inning. Diaz got that big double and scored the one that iced it. Trey Riley got a single for an RBI. Jared Burke drew a walk, scored a run. Jack Spates had a base hit, scored a run. And a nice job on the mound by Mark Walsh. Good defense. Third baseman Pieto made a couple of nice plays. The shortstop, second baseman Driscoll. So good all-around defense by Lynn. Good pitching by Marks. Timely hitting, helped out by some walks and a few errors. And they wind up putting 10 on the board. And they get the big win, shutting out Peabody in a mercy rule win. Lynn wins it 10-0 in this 14-year-old state tournament game. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.